Do you ever wonder how clouds are formed? Well, let me tell you about the water cycle. The water cycle consists of four main components or stages, namely evaporation, condensation, precipitation, and collection, respectively. Do not be intimidated, okay? Let me break it down to you. It all begins with evaporation, which is a process where liquid water transforms into water vapor, which is a gas. That is why we cannot see when water is evaporating, right? You might be wondering, how does water evaporate? Let me break it down for you again. What happens is the sunlight, the sun energy, heats up the bodies of water, even though we can't see it, but we can actually see the water levels changing if we closely look at it. For example, if you put water in a container, set it up for a couple of days outside, the water level would actually decrease because of the evaporation that would have taken place. Well, I think that's something that you should try at home, don't you think? Anyway, the sun energy heats up the surface of water bodies, which are oceans, lakes, rivers, and many more. At a certain temperature, the water molecules becomes water vapor. They escape into the atmosphere, becoming part of the air, and it increases the humidity. This process is essential for the water cycle as it provides the moisture needed for clouds to form. Now, as the water vapor rises into the atmosphere, it cools as it moves through colder air. This is called condensation. It is the process where water vapor in the air transforms into liquid water. If you check in the morning, on a winter morning, and you see some fog or some water droplets on your window, now that is condensation. Another practical example is when you take out your cold drink from the fridge, you set it aside for some few minutes, then you start seeing it being sweaty and having some water droplets. That is also condensation. When it comes to the water cycle, this is when we see now the clouds beginning to form. So if you look up in the air, you'll see bits and pieces of clouds. When those clouds combine, they gather and become saturated with water. They form dark, heavy clouds. They release excess water. Now, this comes in forms of rain, snow. Fun fact: snow is actually pretty rare in our country, with only four provinces that experience it, which is Western Cape, KwaZulu-Natal, Eastern Cape, and Northern Cape. We also have sleet. And hey, precipitation plays a crucial role in the water cycle because it helps refill fresh water sources. Finally, the water cycle reaches the collection state, which is the part where the water goes back into the very same bodies of water where it was evaporated, which is rivers, lakes, and oceans, as well as other areas where water infiltrates into the ground and becomes groundwater. The water cycle is quite crucial to life on Earth as it recycles and distributes water regulates climate, and shapes the ecosystem for all living things, refills water sources, and influences weather patterns. Without the water cycle, Earth would lack the essential water supply needed to sustain life. And that makes the end of our lesson. In summary, just grasp and note and understand the four aspects of the water cycle, which is evaporation, condensation, precipitation, and collection. And that is how clouds are formed. The educational tool that I decided to use is audio visual media, simply because it is easily accessible. As a generation which is more exposed to technology, this provides an opportunity for the students to be able to learn anywhere and anytime. To make my audio visual media, I decided to use CapCut, which is an app that makes it possible to combine videos, images, and voice in order to make my lesson more detailed and understandable to the student. Using this application, I am able to add videos. I'm able to edit the videos to shorten them or lengthen them. I'm able to make an image to be longer or shorter with respect to the time that it will take as I explain the concepts of the videos or something that is on the image. It also allows me to add my voice to explain whatever concept I would like to explain regarding the lesson. Additionally, I can also use this audiovisual media to explain or introduce a new topic in a classroom. Either I am there or I am not there. The students can be able to learn through a projector or their laptops or their cell phones.